Next on BNI Mid-America TV, it's the Gold Club Member Spotlight Show. Gold Club members have sponsored 6 or more people into BNI, and they are here to share their secrets with you. If you want to improve your inviting techniques, then this is the show for you. And now, our host, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to BNI Mid-America TV. This is the Gold Club Member Spotlight Show, and I'm your host, Jennie Bellinger. I'm here today with our newest Gold Club member inductee, Marcel Brown. Welcome to the show, Marcel.
Thank you very much.
So glad to have you here. So first thing we got to let everybody know is what's your business here in BNI? What do you represent here in BNI, and which chapter are you a part of?
Well, I'm part of the Belleville chapter, and my business is technology services consulting. So I work with small businesses and individuals in the home with their technology, helping them out, making things work if it doesn't work, or setting up new systems, or any sort of technology advice or consulting they may need. And 18 years in BNI, all in the Belleville chapter. And recently became Gold Club officially. As it turns out, I probably could have been Gold Club a few years ago, but I had somehow missed track of someone. But when I knew I had at least 6, went talked to Nicole, and she looked up everyone and found there was someone else extra. So anyway, I could have been Gold Club a few years ago, but better late than never, I guess.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about who is your ideal client, so that way those who are watching might be able to help send you a referral.
Very good. Well, as we all know, or as we all should know in BNI, most of us can work with just about any types of clients. So of course, that's true for myself as well. But generally speaking, my ideal clients are professional services business owners. So people like attorneys, accountants, financial advisors, and I should preface that independent financial advisors, because a lot of the ones that work for larger companies have their own technology basically taken care of by the corporation. So those types of people that are professional services and entrepreneurs themselves, those are generally my best clients. And even that being said, I work very well with women. I have a lot of, say, for example, female attorneys who I do very well with. So, but generally speaking, it is a professional services. And I think I like to think of it because I'm also professional services. I'm providing a knowledge-based expertise, just like a lawyer, just like an accountant, just like financial advisors, and even creative professionals who I have a lot of clients as well. We're all providing a professional knowledge service. And so I think we kind of have that synergy that goes together. I understand a lot about how they operate their business, and they appreciate the fact that I'm providing that high level of service that they put out as well for what they need in the technology sector.
And what problem do they have that usually causes them to call you?
And I can't say any one particular thing, but generally speaking, it's some sort of technology issue that they've probably spent hours trying to figure out themselves. They get on the phone with remote tech support or whoever, they just spend a lot of time, or even their staff potentially are spending a lot of time, and they finally get frustrated and they start trying to find some help. And luckily, through the referral network I've built up over years, generally I will, they will find me somehow, some way, whether a direct referral from a colleague or whether some sort of BNI or other business referral. And that's that. Once they know that there is a type of service available from myself that works with the smaller businesses, then it's generally a very long-standing business relationship.
Well, that's really good to know, right? That says a lot about a business owner, that when they have a client that they help with for the first time, and then they become the person that they call each time they have an issue in that particular realm, that usually speaks pretty well to the level of service that you're providing for them. And so as they have these issues, how do you typically end up helping them? what's the problem that you end up solving for them?
Well, the overall problem is just having an expert available to even take care of any of their technology needs. So that's the big picture problem. Number one, they just need to know me and be able to, you know, now have someone to call. And that's the biggest issue overall. Of
Mm,
course, specifically speaking, it's just going to depend on their problem, but generally speaking, whatever their issue is, I get to the bottom of it, figure out the root problem, resolve the issue, maybe clean up a few other issues that are kind of related or maybe nagging at the same time. However it is, I generally get them in a state where they are able to function, they're productive again. And from there, now it's hopefully a more proactive relationship to where I can help keep things maintained, keep things updated, catch small problems before they become bigger problems, that sort of thing.
that's really good to hear. Now, as you already brought up before, you've been in BNI for about 18 years at the time of this recording. So you probably have quite a few success stories, but what would you say is your favorite BNI success story from what comes to mind first for you?
Hmm. That's a good one because I got to go back, think 18 years. I'll just throw out some long-term, things like, I had clients that I got when I started BNI that are still clients today.
Mm,
Um, I remember, specifically Julia Crunk with Ambassador Travel. We literally joined BNI in the same month,
mm.
and funny enough, she became Gold Club just recently as well. So 18 years, about once every 3 years, we get a new member. I guess that's a reasonable clip. But yeah, she and I joined BNI at the same time, and I pretty much within a year, I think I was taking care of her technology and still am to this day. Um, Boy, that's a good question. I know I've had a variety of success stories to where I get some really good clients through BNI, big clients that are, again, long-standing. I've taken care of some issues for people that were like critical issues, and I was able to come in quickly, save the day right away, and that sort of thing. It's one of those things you put me on the spot. I can't think of anything off really, and any the best, the biggest. I'd have to go back and look, but generally speaking, 18 years in BNI, there's been a lot of success stories, both in giving, helping people, and
Well,
also in receiving great referrals.
absolutely. Well, one of the things, because of course I've known you for a few years now. For those who are watching this who don't know, Marcel and I are in relationship as well. So one of the stories that came up for me as I was getting ready to ask that question was there was an attorney who you helped save her computers, which actually ended up saving her business a few years back. And so now any entrepreneur that she works with, if one of the first questions she asks them is, hey, how do you back up your stuff? She's watching out for their entire business as a business attorney. And then if they can't give her a good answer, she sends them to you.
Mhm. Exactly. It's one of those things where at the time I knew I was saving her data, making sure her computer was working, that sort of thing. It wasn't until a few years later, or maybe it went over my head at the time, but it wasn't until a few years later that I was hearing she was saying that, yeah, I saved her business, and ultimately when it comes to computers and data, a lot of our business is in fact run by that technology. And there's statistics that show businesses that suffer catastrophic data loss are often out of business within a few years because that loss of data impacts their business operations. They lose invoices, they lose track of clients, they lose critical business information that just grinds things to a halt. And yeah, that can be almost impossible to come back from in many cases. So she is right. It Yes, I could say, saved her business in that regard that way. And it is a lesson to people. Yeah, you need to have a good backup strategy and plan and test it and all this sort of thing. But ultimately,
Yeah.
that comes from having a business relationship with a technology expert who's going to advise you on those things so that you're covered in not just that aspect, but in many other aspects, so that if something does happen, your business isn't shut down.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a really important piece. So yeah, I'm that was something that just I knew I had to share with everybody on your behalf,
Mm.
because that's something that many times I've heard that story from that particular attorney. She was really happy with the service you provided. So you've only been a Gold Club member for just a few months, but I know you've been very active in the Above and Beyond team, and so you've been able to help participate in some of the Gold Club events that were happening pre-COVID. Um,
Mhm.
was that what helped drive you to become a Gold Club member? Or what would you say is the biggest benefit you're looking forward to getting to have access to as a Gold Club member now?
Well, besides, potentially more food from the Mooskies, really the wasn't really a drive. I wasn't really pushing to be Gold Club. I just knew that what my drive is to invite people to BNI and
Mm,
turn them into members. So that's really that's for me the benefit, the bigger picture of givers gain. Every single person I can bring into BNI, whether it's in my chapter, which is ideally for me, but in any chapter at all, just helps build business. It helps build money and going through the local economy and helping small business entrepreneurs do better. So, and so like I said earlier, 18 years in, 6 members or more. That's about once every 3 years. And I'd love to increase that just to do better at it. But um, what, as far as the benefits, being part of the Gold Club puts you in, kind of an elite status.
mm,
And it is the people that really get BNI. And so if you are networking with people that really understand how to network, people that understand how to make connections, well, that's only be probably the biggest benefit for me, because being more closely aligned with these types of people should result in more referrals, more success for me. And so ultimately that's the best benefit. Of course, there's lots of little fun events and other discounts and sorts of things that come with being a Gold Club member, which is great. But ultimately, I think those are just the the sizzle on the steak, and it really is the thing of being part of an elite community. And I think a lot of people say it's, you surround yourself with the type of people you want to be like, and
mm.
ultimately that's the thing. So being part of the Gold Club, I think will be very beneficial for me in the long run, because I'm going to be surrounded by great BNI people.
That is very, very true.
Mhm.
So the last thing I want to ask you, because in order to become a Gold Club member, that means you've sponsored 6 or more people into BNI, which means you've invited hundreds of people in 18 years. What is one piece of actionable advice you would give a BNI member about inviting visitors?
So I'll be honest, I wasn't great at this, and being in BNI for 18 years, it's been a long road. So I wasn't great at inviting at first. And ultimately, over the last several years, um, some of the best advice simply is to keep it simple. And
Mm,
um, what I tell people, what I tell a lot of the new members, because I'm also involved in the new member experience program, is that the first step is to meet people. You've got to meet more people, and that's beneficial for you, not just for inviting people to BNI, but ultimately for our business careers. The more connections we can make, the more influence we're going to have, the more likely that we're either going to get clients from those connections or get referrals, clients for those connections, or any number of things we may need help with. So number one, you got to get out, whether that's virtual, like we've been doing over the last year or so, which can be very effective, or in person, going to networking events, or just talking to people, either in your family or friends circles or whatever. The more you talk to people, the more you try to get to know people, the more connections you make. That's going to increase your pool of invitations. And once you're getting more used to talking to people, which is something that a lot of us business owners who tend to be, I think, in the a lot, by and large, a little more introvert, a little more quiet, because we're focused on what we do well, and we start a business, and we're focused on serving the clients. So kind of breaking out and being chatty, so to speak, and talking to people and getting out there, it can be difficult, but that's what I tell people: get used to doing that, practice making connections, meeting people. And once you do that, inviting is very easy, because for most of us, it's just, hey, would you like to meet a group of other business owners who are interested in passing business? And what other business owners really are going to turn that down? So really the critical part is meeting the people, and then understanding that inviting is very easy to do. You just literally have to ask the question, and the most part, you do it in the right way, and you'll get a lot more visitors. And then from there, you and your chapter will sell the meeting, and it basically sells itself, and then you just start closing on visitors. But ultimately, meet people, make the invitations, and that's what will fill up your invitation pipeline, so to speak, and get more members in your chapter and other chapters.
That is a great piece of advice. So, Marcel, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today on the Gold Club Member Spotlight Show. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Great to be here. Thank you for taking your time to help other people know about me.
Absolutely. So those of you who are watching right now, if you're in Marcel's BNI Belleville chapter, make sure you share this video. Let everybody know more about Marcel as a new Gold Club member and what he does and who he can help. And if you are in BNI and you want to know more about what Marcel does, please feel free to reach out for a one-to-one with Marcel. So thank you very much, and make sure you stay tuned, because there's another episode happening on BNI Mid-America TV.
For more information on how BNI can help you build your business, book your complimentary consultation with Virginia Moose-Keith at discoverbnimidamerica.com. BNI Mid-America TV is brought to you by the Bergman Insurance Group, your trusted source for Medicare information, education, and enrollment. Be sure to check out the show notes for additional information on how to contact today's host or guest about their business, and thanks for watching.